Hey, this is Hardline, Destructoid's video game news podcast. My name is Jordan DeVore, and I am joined by Brett Makedonsky, back from TGS. Hi, Brett.
Back from everywhere. It's been like
You time
a million
traveled
a
to get
million
back
weeks
here.
since I've been on the show. Yeah, going to Japan's always weird because you go a day in the future going there, and then you relive the same day twice when you come back. I actually landed back in Colorado 2 hours before I originally left for the airport in Tokyo. Super weird feeling.
Time zones are
Does,
weird.
does it feel like death? Because that's what I would think it would feel like.
Yeah,
Unless you
every
can
time.
sleep on the way
Or does it
back.
feel like being reborn? Also, I'm here. Hi, I'm Bill
Hi,
Zoker.
Bill.
Sorry we didn't pay enough attention to you, Bill. We'll try to
You're
do.
neglected.
Brett crossed that date line and then he just like folded back outside of his own ass. He like, flipped inside out.
I was inside my own ass for a long time.
Steven's not here, but we expect he might show up
He
at
might
any
show
moment
up.
or never because he's out getting groceries for like his whole neighborhood or
Hey,
something.
he said he's out getting groceries, and we all know how much of a potsman Steven is by the way he talks. So he probably bought
That was
all the
hours-
cookies.
He said that hours ago. I
He's
think,
buying
at
all
this
of the
point.
hot pockets and cookies and Mountain Dew.
A potsman.
I don't think he actually. I don't think Steven actually even smokes pot at all, which is just super funny.
He just gets.
He just
That's
sounds
what
like he
people
does.
think, even though he doesn't. Yeah, it's unfair, but
He's
it's so
only-
funny.
Yeah, he's only
He's-
into the harder stuff.
He's actually just addicted to Quaaludes.
I love this
Tell me,
narrative
kid.
we've created, this backstory for Steven. He's so not these things,
Some
but that's what makes it good.
cookie.
Yeah, he smoked a lot of opium when we were in Japan. We visited a lot of opium dens.
Every night you had to drag him out of a different opium den.
Oh man, I could see him running an opium den.
Yeah,
That'd
people.
be so good.
You see,
I
like,
don't know. I don't
weird-
think he has the business savvy.
you see weird old men just walk through a smoky door in a dark
Honestly.
alley, and Steven's just like, "Ciao, amiche."
I feel like those would run themselves more or less. Maybe
think-
not.
I think it takes a very specific type of facial hair to grow or to run an opium den, and I'm not sure that Steven has the chops.
True.
All right.
So we can stop talking about this if we want, or we
Video
can keep
games.
going. Blizzard. This is a video game news podcast, technically. I feel like we should stop saying that at some point, but we'll keep going with it for now. So Blizzard, after 7 years or so, canceled Titan. It's what was going to be its next MMO following WoW. I feel like none of us really care or are excited that this happened because I don't know that any of us would have played this thing.
Yeah, it's one of those games that might have been interesting once we'd actually seen anything about it. But I think the most interesting thing here is that, well, when Blizzard develops anything, they go hard, and they've been developing this for 7 years, and for something like that to get canceled is pretty outrageous.
It's crazy to me that I mean, it makes sense that they would be willing to cancel it because they just have that. They're in a position to be able to do that, but it's crazy to me that it took that long to be like, okay, let's not do this anymore.
I have a feeling that they weren't dedicating nearly the resources to it that they may have led us to believe.
Perhaps.
I think a lot of their time and effort, went into Diablo and then also World of Warcraft, which makes them money hand over fist constantly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then fixing Diablo after the fact.
But imagine what a peripheral team at Blizzard is like. That's still got to be a pretty substantial development team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think that even though that they scrapped the game, I have a feeling that they probably took some good ideas for the future that we'll see kind of work their way into other Blizzard games. I don't really know what because I don't know all that much about Titan, just the fact that they canceled it. So,
Yeah.
but
Well, Blizzard said they're gonna try to make World of Warcraft expansions once a year. So I'm sure by the third or fourth one they'll just put the Space Marines or whatever was gonna be in Titan in there.
Well, and so like so Polygon broke this news of the cancellation, and one of the big takeaways was that they kind of discovered that, oh, we don't really want to be making this type of game right now, like an MMO, besides what they're doing with WoW. So I guess they won't be doing that next. I mean, they've got Hearthstone, they've got Heroes of the Storm, that MOBA. I don't know. They really don't have too many games, but then again, it is Blizzard, so
Yeah, I
that's
guess
kind of
they probably
been the
just want
case.
to cover all of the all the really hardcore multiplayer areas. Because I mean, MOBAs, card games, StarCraft is whatever you call it, and then
RTS.
RTS, and then World of Warcraft is MMO. So they've got like all of those bases covered, and I guess it makes sense they wouldn't want to double up on any of them.
Yeah, they really do have a lot of the PC centric genres covered. So I just want Warcraft 4, honestly. That's all I want from them. But I could be waiting another like decade here. It
Is
seems
there
like.
is there any inkling of talk about Warcraft 4, or is that just
I
wishful
feel
thinking?
like anything Warcraft, they're just funneling into WoW. At some in the last, I don't know if it was last year or a couple years, there was some talk of them wanting to do some kind of remake. But I don't know if that was like a full on remake or I can't
Re
exactly recall the details, but
remake of 3?
I think so. I'm pretty sure
Uh,
that's what it was.
They're probably just
Uh,
gonna sink all of their resources into StarCraft on the RTS front, and then they've got World of Warcraft for the Warcraft aesthetic.
yeah, it seems that. I mean, that makes sense, but kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I just want Fallout 4 to get announced. When the hell is that gonna happen?
Uh, if I'm thinking of games I want to look at, that would be pretty high up on the
Like,
list. I have to say.
when Fallout 4 gets announced, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna be the most annoying man on the planet because I will not shut up about Fallout 4, and I'm just like building up anticipation. Just fucking announce it already. I know you're making it.
You're pretty close to the most annoying man on the planet, so I don't feel like Fallout 4
Yeah,
doesn't have a lot to give us.
That'll put me over the edge.
Hopefully. Big old cliff edge.
Oh,
Fall
you don't
into the
mean
ocean.
that, Brett. You don't mean that.
Yeah, geez,
Those you can't tell me
back
those
from-
tender cheek kisses at PAX meant nothing.
Brett's back from the mean streets of Tokyo.
Yeah.
And now he's harder.
Now he's a yakuza. If he
Yeah.
takes off his shirt, you'll see all of his fish tattoos.
Every year at E3, I try to join a gang, and none of the gangs ever want me, but I finally found my place in Tokyo.
I join a gang at every city of every convention I go to, so I got a lot of
Dude.
weird tattoos.
Dude, don't tell people that. They won't take kindly to you commingling your gangs.
Yeah, you can't be splitting your time. among
Listen,
gangs
it's all part of my
like
elaborate
that.
plan to start a gang war. Or unite the gangs into one super gang.
Mm.
You know? Who knows?
Mm.
We'll see.
Is that like a...
This is like Triad War. Is that new? I don't even know why I brought this up because I haven't looked at it outside of one GIF. But the Sleeping Dogs studio is making another game set in that universe, and it looked awful from what I saw.
Oh, really?
I did not see the video that has since come out, so maybe it's better than the GIF.
I'm
Or
actually.
it was a Vine I saw. To be specific.
I'm excited about the Sleeping Dogs, like the new, like I don't. It's not. Is it a remake or is it just a bump up?
definitive edition?
Yeah, like it's gonna.
That's HD.
It's the
more
it's the
HD.
exact thing that they did with Tomb Raider.
Okay, so I'm excited for that because I have Sleeping Dogs. Like I got it from Xbox Gold. I never got around to really playing more than like an hour or two of it, so I'm really excited to do that. Probably for a Let's Play, which you can watch Let's Plays on this channel, or if you're listening to the podcast, go to youtube.com/dtoy where we play video games.
Wow, I didn't realize it was shameless plug time yet.
It's our own fucking. It's the same company. We all work together.
I suppose you can read my stuff at Destructoid.com and follow
Yes,
me.
a hot
on
new
Twitter.
NHL 15 review. Is that what it was? NHL 15?
Yeah, so EA did a really bad job at sending me that game on time, and then I went to France, and then I went to Tokyo, and I didn't get a chance to review it or to actually play it until like a couple days ago. So super late on that review, but
Who cares? It's
Could have
NHL.
fooled me. I had no idea it was late. I really didn't. I have no concept of sports games other than I guess one will come out and I'll be like, oh, that new glitch is really funny, and then move on to the next thing.
yeah, it plays really well, but it's so stripped down that it's hard to recommend. But whatever.
I guess that sounds like a lot of sports games from EA.
I could go for another NHL Hits. That game was pretty fun.
I could go for like another NHL 96.
Which one was that, or what platform was that on?
Genesis.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Did
One of those.
you
Yeah.
get to fight a lot and listen to Limp Bizkit music?
Limp Bizkit music? No.
Yeah, NHL Hits, the main theme for NHL Hits was rolling, 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 what? So every time you booted it up, you heard that. It's great. It wasn't great. But you got to beat up hockey players, which was fun.
I've never heard of that.
That's no worse than the Trials HD intro music, so.
Oh, God, don't remind me.
Or Burnout Paradise, you have to hear Paradise City every time you play the game, and you have to hear it for like a full minute.
Then you get to play Paradise, though.
Yeah, like that's a fun game, and I like the song Paradise City, but it's already an overplayed song. I don't need to hear it every time I start the game.
At least, couldn't you change the radio, though, to exclude certain songs? I swear you could.
I don't know, but like this was the music that plays as the game is booting up.
Right. Well, besides that.
And I think like when the first time you play it, you have to listen to Avril Lavigne or something like that.
There's definitely an Avril Lavigne song on that soundtrack. I remember that much. That was a good game. I always just want to like go back and play these good games instead of, I don't know, whatever I would be playing otherwise.
So Destiny.
Oh, I'm not playing Destiny, so I'm doing well on that front. But
I don't think anyone on staff is playing Destiny except Chris.
Chris is, because he was talking about how he beat the raid or whatever it was.
Did he get to the part where he gets to shoot at a cave repetitively? I don't even know what that's about, but I just hear people just like you just shoot in a cave.
It's just like gaming the game. It's a spot where people line up and just fire endlessly into a cave from which enemies spawn, because then all your loot is like in one spot, and that does not sound fun at all.
No.
Are you grinding
like a
XP at the same time?
Something. What was that, Brett?
Are you grinding XP at the same time while you do that?
Probably.
Potentially.
It sounds like with Destiny, you might not need to grind XP, huh? It sounds like people are hitting a level cap pretty quick.
I think the bigger issue is because like once you hit the cap, the next cap is you get the levels from your gear. So getting that gear, I think, is the more pressing issue.
I have no idea how I know nothing about that game despite covering it for like 1,000 years. It's ridiculous how little I know about Destiny.
Yeah, so one thing that bothers me about Destiny that I haven't really mentioned before is the respawning of enemies, because they like the way it's set up is it plays like a game like Halo or Borderlands or something where it's a first-person shooter and you have to take out groups of enemies. But because it's an MMO and anyone can any players can show up at any time, they respawn like moments later. So like the way that I play shooters is I'm tactical and I take my time, but it's like I'll be like picking off guys from 100 yards away, then all of a sudden the guys I just killed are back and they're shooting me in the face. Like that's super annoying to me.
Maybe you should be better.
Well, I mean, I kill them, but it's not how I want to play. I don't want to run around and shotgun people in the face like a maniac.
You want to kill them discreetly from 1,000,000 yards away, not like a maniac.
Yeah.
That's.
I want to climb up a bell tower, and and carry a copy of Catcher in the Rye with me, just like a normal, healthy human being. Yeah.
Steam is another. Let's move away from your.
That was a beautiful transition.
So Steam got a redesign. It's more blue looking. It's more personalized, and there's curators now, so it's like anyone can curate.
Everybody and their mother has been curating.
Everyone can be a tastemaker now, even though that doesn't make sense for that to exist. But so yeah, you can recommend games and have a list, and people can follow you. And
that's totally like a good feature. Like that's totally like a helpful feature. Like if there's like a video game personality who you tend to agree with and you want to get suggestions from them, that's an easy way to do that. But at the same time, my Twitter feed when that shit launched was fucking everybody I know like, I'm a curator, there's a link.
Yeah, my issue with it is that I would assume it's gonna be a lot of recommendations of games we already know about, or like these people would already know about, but maybe that's not accurate. I don't know.
My big problem with it, and my big impending problem with it, is that the top 10 to 20 curators are going to be a huge potential source of ad buy for for game companies, and I don't think that Steam has any way of disclosing that these are sponsored picks.
Interesting you should say that, because when Valve was originally talking about doing this sort of curation system at least a year ago, maybe more. Gabe Newell said something about potentially having this as monetizing this. So it's like if you if you are getting people to click your links to buy a game, you would get some cut. But I don't know if that is going to be the case in the future, or if they're not going to do that. But it gets it. You could see them doing that with the way the workshop works, but
I don't know. That could be a thing, but yeah, with what Brett was saying, like some of the like biggest curators already are YouTube personalities, and we've already heard about how many YouTube. Jesus Christ, what was that?
That was awesome.
It's a hell of a fart. Anyway, we've already heard about how like YouTube Let's Players are getting paid to play certain games and potentially even give them positive attention, and so what's to stop some publisher from paying a YouTuber to put their game on their curation list?
And to be clear, the issue with what you're saying right there, it's not so much to me that they're being paid to play a certain game. It's that they're not. Some of them aren't disclosing that.
Most of them aren't disclosing.
Which is, I think it's fine if they disclose it, but that's just me.
So anyone that partakes in those practices, it's super easy to envision them making a simple jump over to accepting money to do the Steam curator thing. And what companies have to gain from, being promoted through these top 10 to 20 curators is that with the YouTube video, people have to be like, oh, this game looks cool, I'm going to go seek it out. With the curated list, they literally just have to click a link and they are just one click away from buying the game. It's within the channel itself. So it's super attractive for publishers and indie devs and small PR companies and that type of thing. And it's also attractive for Steam because they make a cutoff of all of these sales. They don't necessarily have a reason to wave the red flag and be like, yo, we need to make this sponsored or whatever. I don't know. I see it as a potential source of trouble in the future, but at the same time, until everybody's promoting the same game that doesn't deserve to be promoted, it's just kind of it's going to all be hearsay and gossipy, and no one's going to really know the truth.
Yeah, and most.
But I guarantee it'll happen.
Most of the more enthusiastic gamers aren't going to care about YouTubers getting paid off because that's totally fine, right?
Yeah. I guess the important thing here is, as always, do your homework before buying something, even if you're going off a recommendation. That's a good idea.
Trust the true journalists.
Because we actually have bosses who can fire us if we're full of shit.
What about D4?
No, D4.
Do you recommend that, Bill?
I recommend. So we did a Let's Play of it. The first part of that's up. The second part's going up. Well, probably will be up by the time this is up. It's a really weird game. It's definitely very surreal, very Japanese. It's interesting, but for the love of God, do not play it with the Kinect. Sweet baby Jesus, especially if you're not in a room alone, like that. Because it even tells you when you start the game, like, keep your distance from other people. Don't cover your torso with the pillow, and it's like. So what you're telling me is that this is gonna be fickle as shit, and it's probably not gonna work. And that's what happened. Is when me and Max played it, is like we could barely get it to work. So if you're gonna play it, play with a controller.
To be fair, you and Max were cuddled up on the couch together, both waving your arms at the Kinect, trying to get it to do stuff.
Not the whole time, like that. Like we were, like we really
watched
tried.
5 minutes of your video before I got bored. Okay.
Oh damn! Fuck you too, Brett. No, but they're like we tried very deliberately to make it work as best as possible, and it's still fickle and doesn't work great. So like for $15, considering how much there is to do on the Xbox One, I'd say yeah, get it, but like don't try to play with a Kinect.
All of the things you said to describe this game sound like what you would expect from Swery after Deadly Premonitions. So
yeah, like I'm definitely interested in the weirdness. Like the weirdness is cool. Like the main character is a Bostonian detective, and he's got like the weirdest Boston accent. He's got like a heavy rain Boston accent. It's like
awesome.
it's like a little bit off, and it's like that's not how a person sounds. And there's like a weird cat girl who throws cups at you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hi, Max.
I'm into it. I would play it if I had an Xbox One, probably.
I just queued it up last night. I haven't gotten a chance to fire it up yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. Especially after the presentation that we had at TGS. It was super weird. Sweary was talking through a translator. He was holding a stuffed monkey that was wearing a baseball hat.
That picture.
And he was standing next to like a yellow plastic woman mannequin thing, and none of it was there for any reason at all. And,
yeah, that mannequin's actually in the game.
Oh, okay.
Is the monkey in the game though?
I don't know. I haven't seen a monkey yet, but
Okay.
there's this weird. You like the first mission or like chapter you do or whatever you want to call it. You're on an airplane, and there's this super weird fashion designer guy, and he's got his partner who he insists is a real person, but it's just a mannequin that looks exactly like him, but a woman. And it's basically Ruby Rod put through a filter of Japan.
You're selling me on this with each passing second.
So in my presentation thing, they gave I had the first presentation of the show. It was a small group presentation, maybe like 4 or 5 other people in it, and that was the first time they announced that it was coming out tomorrow at the time. And so and Sweary said that, and as soon as he said it, I got on my phone and I beamed out an email to our staff. I was like, yo, put this up immediately. And I think it was Brittany and Kyle like fought over the post, and eventually it went up super fast. And as soon as Sweary was done talking, the PR dude was like, all right, now it's embargoed information for the next like 2 hours that that the game comes out at this release date or whatever. I was like, my team already got it up, so so you
Suck
should
it.
have said something sooner.
Also, what?
And he just looked at me, he's like, oh damn, son. Yeah, we're good.
What's the like? Were they having more presentations after that? Is that why it was embargoed for 2 hours?
No, that's just when Microsoft wanted to make the announcement via their official channel. But yeah, they were having announcements, or they were having presentations probably like every hour or so. But
Okay.
But they wanted to control the message as it went out.
Well, who cares?
But instead, we got to control the message.
Yeah, real journalism.
I think Eurogamer might have gotten it up almost as quick as us, or something like that. But
so, yeah.
we're super fast.
It's because we have spies in our midst. Spies for Eurogamer.
Spies like Brett.
They snipe the story. Also, yes, Brett is a spy. Brett is Harriet the Spy, actually.
Harriet the Spy? Is
Yeah.
that
That's you.
Is that the movie with Michelle
Trachtenberg, yes.
Oh, oh my God, yeah.
I saw
couldn't
that
think of her name.
I saw that movie when I was like -5 years old. I was so young when I saw that movie.
I was watching that movie from my dad's balls.
Before that, the very first episode of Hey Arnold played in theaters for like 15 minutes, like as a little like warm up intro thing, and then Harriet the Spy played. It was great.
Huh.
Oh my gosh.
Rosie O'Donnell was in that movie, right?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I never saw the movie, but I did see the cover of the movie.
I remember
looked at that once in the grocery store.
Let's just not talk about Matilda again, Jordan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Brett. We were trying to tell you what we talked about last time. We talked about Matilda. It was good.
Was that also Michelle Trachtenberg?
No, that was Mara Wilson. But Max was comparing Danny DeVito and Matilda to Randy Pitchford.
Oh, that's right. I couldn't remember how we got on Matilda.
Did that get edited out, or did that make
No, that part made it in.
Okay.
That was basically the best part of the episode, so we did not.
Yeah, that was a really good point. All right, but our listeners and viewers already saw that, so let's move on. What else we got, Jordan? What are the video games?
We were gonna round this out with TGS talk, I guess. We've already been going for a while, surprisingly.
Yeah. So what happened at TGS? Did you touch a boob?
Besides the time travel stuff.
I almost had to stick my head through a giant boob to play
God,
video.
that was so weird.
But I didn't.
Like
Good.
I've never wanted to put anything in a boob. Like that's not arousing to me. That's not what happens there.
Again?
One Shambara?
Okay, yeah. So they had a giant woman and something like yeah.
Yeah, so to play the game, you put your head in a boob to see the screen.
Like
their booth was a giant woman with yeah.
Yeah, you put your head in like a wall-sized boob, and then you played the game through it.
That's
honestly,
weird.
it seems fitting for that game. So
yeah, but like you don't put
like that should be what you have to go through to play that game.
But
because
like,
I don't think those
maybe
are
like
games from what I have heard.
I don't know if I would be more or less put off if it were like put your head in this lady's butt, because at least like stuff goes in there sometimes. You don't put things in boobs. That's not sexy. Unless you're on DeviantArt.
Oh no! Oh god! Oh no!
I don't know. I don't know where to go with this, Bill.
Weird images are popping up in my head. Thanks a lot, Bill.
You're welcome.
What else did I see? I saw all the Sony stuff, which was mostly the stuff we had seen before. I saw the new Resident Evil game. That was really cool. Looking forward to that now. I played Monster Hunter, which was kind of fun.
I am shocked to hear you say that.
So, all right. So I was going to say the problem, but the problem probably isn't the correct word. The thing with TGS is it's not like Western shows where we make appointments and then we get to just see stuff. We have to actually wait in line with like the other people, and so it really cuts down the amount of stuff you can actually cover at the show. And if you're thinking about going during the public days, game over. You're not going to make it. You're not going to see anything. You might see one thing that day. So we really only got like 2 days of coverage out of the show. We had a few appointments with like Western PR, like that Sweary appointment. We got stuff out of that real quick. Other than that, it was kind of waiting in line and just like waiting your turn to play games.
Wow, that sucks.
I actually did not know that about
yeah.
TGS.
So that whole little rant made me sound like a jaded asshole, but it's definitely different than how it works back west.
That does drastically change what coverage you can get out of the show. So
and also means you have to wait in line all day, and who wants to do that?
It was necessary to some extent. We tried kind of cherry picking some stuff that didn't have necessarily the longest lines, and Elliot got like a ton of coverage up right away, while the rest of us were in appointments. So
my favorite
go ahead.
My favorite thing about Elliot is so backstory, our editor, you can this makes sense, but you can see what posts people are working on, and beforehand he put up a bunch of like temporary headlines for games he was going to see, and he had like X game is blank, and he would actually write out blank like in all caps. And the funny thing
really,
he knows where this is going. So the way our commenting system works is whatever the first headline you save, that's what people will see on our commenting platform. So like if you commented on those, you would see that every game or this game is blank as the headline. So good. I don't think he knew that. Anyway, he did see a bunch of stuff.
Did all those posts go live like that, or did they get put into other posts?
I mean, he redid the headline with the correct, like missing word, but yeah.
But the Discuss thing was still live.
So that's how it would have appeared on Discuss. Yep.
That's neat.
That's a great feature, I have to say. Not. So how was Resident Evil? Because I did not read that preview you put up for that.
Thank you.
A bunch of you're in Japan time. I am sleeping, so.
So my main takeaway was that it controlled pretty decent from what I played, which is not something that survival horror games are usually known for. It wasn't a chore to control the characters. It didn't get all that scary because we were only playing like the first maybe 20 minutes of the game. So there was like a jump scare or two, but like the atmospheric tension didn't get crazy, but I could tell that it had potential to get there. There were like story points that were kind of brought up but not elaborated upon, so it was like a whole bunch of questions. My headline was something like Revelations 2 raises more questions than answers, but it looked good. I'm excited for it, and I like the release schedule that they're doing. It's episodic. They're planning on releasing 4 core pieces of the game released 1 week apart over the course of a month, so it kind of feels like a TV show or something as far as like the tension and release of, cliffhangers go.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That could be a good format actually for that sort of game. But I did not play the first Revelations, so outside of like a demo on 3DS of all platforms, that was not fun to control.
Yeah, I've heard the console port that they did of that one was like it looked good, like it looked like a console game, but because it was developed on the 3DS, the hardware limitations meant that only so many enemies could be generated, and they didn't change that in the console version, so it was just felt really stark and empty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm kind of done at this point with any Resident Evil that's not 4.
Well, me too.
4 kind of peaked the whole series for me.
One thing that I'm concerned about with Revelations 2 is kind of how they're packaging the different versions. You can buy them a la carte, obviously, the episodes. you can buy a season pass for a little bit less, and they say it's going to have more content, which I don't really understand. I think that's like $25.
Probably costumes.
And then you can buy a retail version for $40, and they wouldn't tell me what that extra $15 is that justifies the upgrade to having a physical copy.
It comes with a gun.
Yeah, maybe you get like a real life gun or something. I think. How much do guns cost? Are they more than $15?
More or less $15.
Okay.
I'm told.
Maybe
it will come with an instruction manual instead of like, well, no instruction manual, I guess. Do they even do? So I don't have an Xbox One or PS4. Do they even do instruction manuals anymore on those for most games?
Mostly not.
I have NHL sitting behind me. Let me look.
Yeah,
I feel like the most recent like console games I've gotten have not had them.
All right, let's see what Brett's got here.
This is so riveting.
So with NHL, I have a QR code for some Ultimate Team stuff. I have.
I'm sure you'll be using that.
Another ad for Ultimate Team, and I have a code for NHL Game Center Live and nothing else.
Yeah.
So no.
So I feel like the three things that happen most of the time now with the insert thing, it's either there's a very, very small insert with just like controls or whatever on it, or in the game there's either a link to like the publisher's website where you can read the instruction guide, or sometimes they'll actually just have the whole fucking instruction booklet in the game, which is kind of nice, I guess.
Yeah, I think par for the course on Xbox One games is that you can kind of snap an entire instruction guide up on the side.
That's handy.
So that'll take up like a quarter of the screen, and then the other 3/4 of the screen is the game you're trying to figure out how to play.
That's good, because you don't want to have to leave the game to see how to do something in it.
Right. I miss the days of like the Super Nintendo days when they would show show the enemy and have a name next to it, and then they'd have lines at the end for you to write notes in.
I was gonna say you have like your 10-page notes section.
I just had a weird thought.
So fucking dumb for Super Mario World.
I want there to be a rapper who writes all of his rhymes in the note section of SNES instruction booklets. Like that's the only place he writes his rhymes down. Just think about that. That'd be great. That'd be super dope.
That could be you, Bill.
That could be me, except I cannot be a rapper ever.
Well, maybe this is the creative space you need to be able to be a rapper.
This is the only place my creativity flows is in the note section of instruction booklets for SNES games.
What, Bill? I want to know why you could never be a rapper.
A, I have no rhythm.
Okay,
well,
that's a problem.
That's a good reason.
B, I'm better at writing jokes than writing things that rhyme. C, I'm not even that good at writing jokes.
So, what would you say your strengths are?
Let's interview Bill.
I know which buttons to press to make this recording happen.
Yeah, you should probably just nuke it.
We should probably just end this now. I don't think Steve.
I'm gonna write a rap about how much I can't rap, and you guys will see how bad it is.
If it's really bad, then I guess you prove your point and you're right. So.
Or it's really good, and I find my new career.
I was gonna say that gives him no incentive to actually try. He'll just be validated.
One time I did a freestyle rap on a live stream for charity.
Did that bomb or did that go okay?
It went okay, and what made it go even better was Spencer Hayes, former live streamer here at Destructoid. He went on after me, and he tried. It was supposed to be a rap about hamburgers, and he ended up just like going into a string of very angry expletives, and it was really weird and bad. It was like really harsh stuff, like almost like too hot for TV.
All right.
Can we? Let's just stop this show. I don't want to talk anymore.
I was about to. Let me do it. Let me try to. Thanks for listening. First of all, we're glad you made it this far. If you did, you can check out Bill's stuff, Max's stuff on YouTube.com/dtoid. You can listen to this and other episodes of Hardline, the audio-only versions on iTunes. Brett wrote a review, his second review ever for Destructoid, so that's up.
Yeah, I don't do many of those.
I don't either, for that matter, but I've done more than 2, I'm pretty sure.
I've written like a billion previews, but...
You have. Maybe more than most of us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, is that good, Bill?
Yeah.
Is that satisfactory?
Yeah.
Is this going to give us the internet hits?
So many hits.
I hope so.
Hits and tits, that's what we're doing this for.
That show might do some numbers. Might want to think about that.
Yeah, you might want to take your shirt off, Brett. give the audience something to drool over. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye. We gotta stop.
Bye.